Okay, hi guys. So in this lecture, we'll be starting off with nomenclature of alkenes and alkynes. So before that, just two rules to be remembered is first one is that you have to select the longest carbon chain containing alkenes and alkynes as functional groups, and second is alkenes and alkynes should be given preference over other substituents. Okay, so let me explain these rules by some examples. So we have the first example here where we have this compound. So here if you start numbering from this carbon atom, you can find the alkene group as second position, 1 2 3 4 5. So at second position only you can find the alkene group. However, if you start numbering from this end or from the right hand, you can find the alkene at third position, 1 2 3. So you should be considering this chain which is starting from the left carbon atom in naming the compound. Hence there are total number of five carbon atoms. Hence pent is the word root here, and you can find the functional group at second position. So pent2-ene would be the IUPAC name. Okay, so now talking about the second rule, where I say that alkenes and alkynes should be given preference over substituents. So let's suppose we have this carbon atom, this compound. So if we start numbering from this carbon atom, you can find the substituent at first position. However, you will find the alkene at second position. But if you start numbering from this carbon atom or from the left hand, you can find the alkenes at the first position and the substituent at the third position. So according to the second rule, alkenes and alkynes should be given preference over substituents. Hence we will be starting the numbering of the carbon atoms from the left hand. Hence alkene would be at the first number and bromo would be at the third number. So 3 bromo prop 1 in, as the total number of carbon atoms are 3, so the word root would be prop. So 3 bromo prop 1 in would be the right answer. But if you had written something like 1 bromo prop 2 in, if you have selected the first carbon atom from the right hand, hence this would be the answer, but it would be wrong. Okay, so the first answer is right and second one is wrong. Okay, so now let's come to the third example, wherein we have something like this. So if you this is a compound wherein we have a double bond and a triple bond. Okay, so if we start numbering from this carbon atom, we can find the substituents at third position and fourth position. Oh, sorry, second position and fourth position. So 2, 4 is the position of carbon atoms where you can find alkene and alkyne. But if you start numbering from this carbon atom, you can find them at position number 1 and 3. Okay, so at 1 we can find alkyne, and at 3 you can find alkene. Hence 1 will be 1, 3 would be given more priority over 2, 4 because 1 comes before 2. Hence this would be chosen, not this. Okay, so this would be chosen, and the nomenclature of this compound would be simply pent3-ene 1-ine. Okay, pent3-ene 1-ine. So this would be the correct answer, but had you written pent2-ene and 4-ine, you would be wrong. Okay, let's look at the fourth example. Here we have something like this. Okay, so here again you should have started the numbering from this carbon atom, because if you have started numbering from this carbon atom, the minimum position of the functional group or alkene or alkyne would be at position number 2. But from starting from here, you can find the alkene at position number 1 only. So you should be starting numbering from this carbon atom itself. Okay, so what would be the name of this compound? The name would be pent1-ene and 3-ine. Okay, so what if in numbering or in choosing the carbon atom for locating the substituents, locating the alkenes and alkynes, we find a tie between the position of alkene and alkyne. So in such a case, you have to give the priority to alkene. So just a rule here or a note that alkene priority over alkyne when there is a tie. Okay, so the example for this can be something like we have okay. So in this case you can find the alkene and alkyne both at first position if you start either from this carbon atom or this carbon atom, but according to this note which I have just written above, you should be starting the numbering from this carbon atom. Okay, why? Because there is a tie and hence alkene would be given priority over alkyne. Okay, so let us actually do some practice over the nomenclature of alkene and alkyne. So examples, you have to write the nomenclature of these compounds, IUPAC name. So this would be simple 2-methyl and propane. Second example is you have to find the IUPAC name of this compound. We have something like this. So the IUPAC name of this compound would be, you have to select the longest carbon chain, and the longest carbon chain in this compound is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So at 2 and 3 position you can find methyl groups or locants attached. So the name would be 2,3-dimethyl but-2-ene. 2,3-dimethyl but-2-ene. Okay, let's look at the third example where we have something like this. We have a simple compound CH2 CHCl. Okay, again the numbering should start from this carbon. I hope you have every reason to answer why I am numbering from this carbon atom. So it would be 2-chloro and ethene. Okay, fourth example is you have something like this. So the longest carbon chain in this case would be 5. How? We can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at second position we have a methyl group attached. So the answer would be 2-methyl pent-2-ene. Okay, let's look at fifth example. Here we have okay. So in this case again the numbering would be starting from this carbon atom. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 carbon atoms are there in this case. So the answer would be 5-methyl hex 2-ene. Okay, let's look at sixth example where we have something like this. And CS3. Okay, so if you start numbering from this carbon atom, I think you can find the alkene at first position itself. So this would be the IUPAC name 1-bromo and then prop-1-ene. Okay, let's look at this compound. So in this compound again numbering would start from this carbon atom. So this would be 1, 2, 3. So the correct IUPAC name would be 3-bromo, 1-chloro and prop-ene. No need to write prop-1-ene. Prop-ene is understood. Let's look at the eighth example. Here we have something like this. Okay, so the name for this compound would be, again you can find a conflict between or a tie between the positions of alkene and alkyne. So if you start from this carbon atom, you can find the position of alkene at 1 and position of alkyne at 3, and if you start from this carbon atom, you can find the position of alkene at 3 and alkyne at 1. So this would be given preference. Why? because the alkene should be given preference over alkyne, hence we should be starting the number of carbon atom from this carbon, hence the correct answer would be but 1 3-ine. Okay, so let's look at the last example of this video lecture. So we have something like this. So the name of this compound would be again but 1,3-diene. Okay, so I hope you are now clear about nomenclature of alkene and alkyne. In the next lecture we will be covering up nomenclature of not nomenclature of, we will be seeing locants like alkenyl and alkynyl. So till then, good luck and goodbye.